Hey guys, it is Arika Misha. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. And today's videos is definitely one of those videos that really hit close to home. God, please remove this thorn. And it just put me in the mind when God led me to 2 Corinthians. I'm reading from the New King James Version. 2 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, the 7th through the 10th verse. Let me get there. 2 Corinthians 12, the 12th chapter, 7 through the 10th verse. The thorn in the flesh is what they have it titled. And if you're not familiar with it, it is Paul. Let me read it. Unless I should be exalted above measures by the abundance of the revelations, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I be exalted above measure. Concerning this thing I pleaded with the Lord 3 times that it may depart from me. And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly I would rather boast in my infirmities than that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities and reproaches, in needs of precautions, in distress, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. New King James Version, 2 Corinthians 12 chapter, 7 through the 10th verse. And we, if you are familiar with that scripture, that is Paul praying to God to remove that thorn out of his side. And that's the scripture God led me to when he was talking to me as I was talking to God, I think we have all prayed to God to remove something from our lives, whether it be an addiction, a weakness, or something that's not pleasing to God. I've prayed to God so many times to remove this issue from my life, and he says his grace is sufficient. God has the power to help us overcome anything. Without thorns, we wouldn't need God. Without sharing too much, but enough. Because you have to be careful with the internet. The internet can be so cruel sometimes. But anyway, I was talking to God about something that, a thorn in my side, something I had been dealing with. And, of course, I was talking to God, and I was saying, God, I said, God, I've talked to you about this a million times. And he said, yeah, and you continue to talk to me about it. As if I didn't hear you the first billion times. And a thorn in my side, we all have them. And I prayed and I talked to God. And I said, God, I'm talking to you about this thorn in my side again. I said, God, can you please remove this thorn in my side? And he led me to the old famous scripture of Paul asking God to remove the thorn, and God said my grace is sufficient, and God was just saying, through dealing with the thorn, it makes us better, and we need him, and it makes us better, it makes us stronger, it makes our faith stronger, it makes us better people, when we have imperfections, and a lot of times we want God to take our imperfections. But if you think about it, if God took away all your imperfections, what would you pray to God about? What would you need him for? Everything would be perfect. That's what God was talking to me about. His grace is sufficient. Although we all would like to be perfect for God, just like he is, we'd like to be perfect. And I do. I talk to God about it all the time. But he made it clear to me, his grace is sufficient, and nobody's perfect, and he'll help me. He'll give me the strength to endure the thorn in my side. Yeah. God gives us grace. God helps us You know, anything that we're struggling with, you know, our imperfections, you know, nobody's perfect. God will help us. Read your word. You know, what I do, I read my word, I pray, I talk to God. And when I find myself, I feel that, how should I say it? When that thorn gets to poking me in the side, you know, I pray and I talk to God and I say, God, you know, help me, God. Help me with that thorn in my side, God. I just pray, and like God said, His grace is sufficient, and God gives me peace. He gives me strength to overcome it. He gives me strength in my spirit to fight the flesh, you know. And I thank God for that. You know, I really do. His grace is sufficient. That's what God wanted me to come and talk about today. That thorn in your side, His grace is sufficient. This is Erika Misha. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to click on that link in my description box. It's a link to my second channel, guys. Over there I'm cooking, hair, makeup, nails, DIYs, reviews, family vlogs, grocery hauls. I do so much over there, you guys. It's just my life. I'm just sharing it. So make sure you guys go check out my second channel. Thank you guys so much for watching and your love and support. Thanks, guys. Bye.